I wanted to shoot a YouTube video and put a bunch of stuff that I had in the works on show a lot of people out there the how we do it, how I do it in an area that I live. I live in the southern zone of New York, and I love to go coyote hunting, and it's something that I've been wanting to do that I've been doing for many years. I really got into it. And I started out way back in the day on using red lights to getting into Gen 1 night visions to getting into where I'm at now, which is into the thermal area. And it took me a long time to get to that because thermal was so expensive at the time. But I just wanted to get it out there to show you my experiences and over all the years that what I've been trying, the trials and errors. So if you guys want to get out there and try to do it and say, man, I've been hunting coyotes for a long time, excuse me, and I've never been able to get one. I was the same way a long time ago. Had such a hard time shooting a coyote. Been out so many darn times in snowstorms and rain and all the time, so hard. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong? What is going on? And come to find out that the Northeast is pretty darn tough to shoot coyotes. Our coyotes here in the Northeast are very large. They're very large. They got some documentary going on where they're mixed with the red wolf and from Canada and all that. But they're pretty darn big compared to what I'm seeing other people shooting out west and down south. They're a nice size. We have some coyote contests around here that are coming up. My first one is starting up in January 1st to the end of January, and then there's another big coyote contest coming up in around Valentine's Day in February. Those months are big for me. I'll hunt from January 1st right on through till the end of March, which I believe it's March 28th for 2020. I'm not sure, but that's pretty much when I'll do most of my hunting, which is it's coming up right now. I usually wait till everybody's out of the woods and muzzleloader's over. And but right now these videos I'm showing you now are 4 bait pile areas that I've put out there and how I've been doing it. We do a run and gun style. I'll show you a little bit into that. I'll show you in another video that I'll make about the guns we're using. Like I said, we started out with just squeakers and stuff like that and got into the Fox Pros, and now we're into the thermals, and just a lot of fun. Keeps me busy. But I'll explain a lot more as I narrate through this video. But let's get started here. This right here is one of the bait pile day. So I'm going around I got buckets of just carcasses and just collecting stuff here and there, and people who've shot them, and just getting the parts that they drop off. This last one here I'm going to show you is a friend of mine that traps beaver and stuff, and just wanted to show you the teeth on it. They're pretty big. But yeah, this is getting ready to go out there. We've recently come back, and this is just showing you how we do it, getting all the stuff together, and we'll come back and get more and go back out and go get another one. But this is how we do it. This is the first location. It's an area that I'm able to go into. It's a little bit drive through the woods, and I'll come up to, you can almost see on the right hand screen there, you're going to see the tripod stand. This was a logging road where they logged it, and it's a pretty cool spot to go to. This is going to be the tree stand location. This is an old logging area at one time where they had a setup where they logged this area and they just left it open. Little tiny field in the middle of the big woods. Carcass piles right there. Camera's over here. Last year keep a constant watch on it. It's about, I don't know, point A to point B, probably 70-yard shot. Little tripod stand. It's fun. See how it goes. This is a friend of mine, Gary. He helped me out for today. just help me out, get this stuff out there. I tried to say before, it's the left of this pile that we're putting out now where it was last year. And I'll show you a little bit of footage. There it is in the right-hand screen. Sorry for being so blurry, but I just got in my tree stand. I was not even ready. And I could have sworn I heard this coyote run off when I got there. Nothing was ready. And I'm trying to put everything together. And he was ready to leave. But see how all the wood's in there? I moved the location because it was just too thick in there to get a shot. I took a shot right here. Boom. But I think we shot 2 off of this pile. We didn't stay long. I'm not sure. Here I am putting it on a tree there. I did get one photo last night on this. Yeah, I want to show you one of the carcass piles we have here. This is one of the setups we have for coyote season. Got some beaver pelts to put out. I don't know if you can see that, we got beaver in here like crazy, chopping up the place and flooding it all out. I got a camera set up over here, a little spy point put up that I'm gonna maneuver, get this situated. Here's a spot that we set on the other side over here, sit in the wood line, and try to get a good 80-yard shot over here. The wind's usually always going in this direction. This is my daughter sat here, and we timed a couple coyotes coming in. It was during mating season, which is nice because you always get 2 come in. We timed it. They were coming in around 7:30, 7:35. We got there at 7. This dog came in. I think a second one came in also, but she took this one. It was a big dog. I think she shot it at like 7:23, something like that. It was a lot of fun. It was her first coyote. I think 2 years before that, she went out and she shot a fox that she got tanned, and she hangs that. It was a cross fox, which was pretty cool. But yeah, this is one of the locations. We got some camera photo later on of this place. This place gets a lot of fox in it, which we don't shoot. But this is a huge coyote that came in that I thought a double was going to come in. Same location you just seen. Had the camera facing the other way. Big coyote. Thought a second one was going to come in. Thought I was going to get some good video. Should have shot the dang thing because I believe this was during one of the contests. And I was like, man, and you get used to seeing through the thermal. You wouldn't know, but that's a big dog. With thermals, you got to get used to how to hunt coyote and fox, because when you first start out, you'll think a fox is a coyote, and but you kind of know how, like you'll see on a coyote, the tail really isn't as warm as the rest of the body. To me, I call them hyenas when they're in the thermal at nighttime, because it almost looks like they got no tail. But this was a big coyote there, and he eluded me. Here's a couple of the lot of fox in this whole area. All the time you go down there, there's always fox running around, and they get so darn close. And I had another video put on here, and I don't know, I lost it. So I had one come up right next to me one time, and I was like lip squeaking it in. And he just right next to me, didn't even care. But I wanted to talk some about another video we're going to be putting in, and about the carcass piles. When we run out of meat later on, we'll be putting probably fish out. We're lucky enough to have a fish market down the road that we can get some fish from, and so we'll put out a lot of fish. Or if we can do any ice fishing this year, We get any crappy fish we don't want, we'll put them on the fish on the carcass piles. Fish in the wintertime for coyotes, they love it. They really do. Never would have thought that, but they go nuts over it. They really like it a lot. We a lot of times will run out of stuff to put out there, so we'll be cleaning out the refrigerator and stuff, whatever we can. Put out there to keep them going, because like I said, we'll be going out right till the end of March. And we're going to be coming up here. We're going to start our hunts coming up, like I said, January 1st. Hopefully going to be coming up with a whole bunch of videos to show you guys. We're going to be videotaping a little bit different, but we're going to try to get as much out there as we can. Like I said, we have 4 different areas that we're going to be going to, and we're going to be going to some different areas, state land and such, and try it out, and try and throw some Fox Pros out there and calling some in, which we call like a run and gun night. And I usually go out anywhere from like 6 at night to 10 during the week. On the weekends, maybe later. We do a lot of walking, trying to find them. But once you get honed in on them, you can pretty much find them. And if you have anybody out there that you put on Facebook or something saying, hey, anybody hear any coyotes out there? And you'll have a lot of people coming in. They're like, oh, they've been calling by our house all the time. You try to get to that area real fast, because you can usually, if they have the land, you can usually call them in that night. Third location we have is another area I've never hunted before. My buddy's got with this real nice luxury stand that he uses for rifle season. He was leaving it there, so he says, you know, you can go here. So we're gonna try it. Here's another stand, and we're bringing in some bait. You can see it's really wooded lot. There was actually coyote prints there when I got there, and I hunted probably a quarter mile from here and heard a lot of howling up in this area during rifle season. There's the hut up there, which is pretty cool. I usually don't sit in those things. I usually sit outside in like a ladder stand or on the ground with a chair, which gets pretty crazy, because sometimes they come running right up to you. But here I am putting one of my cellular cams out. This is a Bushnell. The other ones I have are Spy Points. And like I said before, I'm just trying to show you this video and how in the New York area, I don't know how it is in other areas, but in the New York area, it's tough. It is tough to get a coyote. It sucks. It really does. I mean, I went into an area of New York that had a lot of fields. We tried there. It was even tougher yet. I was like, man, we're in huge fields. We calling fox like it's nothing, but calling it a coyote, it was the toughest thing ever. I always thought calling in coyotes is probably the hardest thing I've ever done. I think that's why I really tried to get on it so much. And it's tough, but once you get it figured out, you know, you can start whacking them. And this is for the guys who say, don't have time to run and gun, but I got some land and I want to try to thin out the population of coyotes on my property. I was out there seeing them when I was out there hunting this year, and you know, or I shot a deer and I walked up to it the next day and found it, and half of it got eaten. I just want to get rid of some of the coyotes. This is for those guys that are just trying it out. Like I said, the carcass pile thing works for us. If you can get, anywhere from 3 to 5 coyotes off each stand, it's pretty cool. This is the inside of the hut he made. It's going to be fun this year to sit in that. It's going to be pretty cool. I'll be going to that on those real cold, windy nights. But it's going to be a lot of fun. This is the 4th spot, aka nosebleed. This spot right here, it's by Heart Attack Hill. You can't see it walking up it, but my gosh, this darn thing is steep. It just goes and goes and goes, but for some darn reason, the coyotes love it up here on these cliffs. They just love it. So we did this spot last year, and the tree on my right that I'm just passing, I used to be able to hurry up and walk up here at night, anywhere around 7:30, and I would take my thermal and look up on the top of this mountain, and you would see the coyotes up there just trying to bed, like look down and see if there's any, if the coast is clear. And I would just watch them, and I would just sneak up, try to get to the tree stand, and see if they would come in. Even if they heard me or seen me, if I got my tree stand and just waited for a long time, they would eventually come down. But you get to the, it could be freezing cold. By the time you get to the top of this darn thing, you're sweating, you're warmed up, because it doesn't look like it. Once I start talking here, you're gonna hear it in my voice where it stinks. It's not fun. All right, walking up on a carcass right here. Walking up on another carcass pile over here. Another area that we have all spread out that they've been chewing on. There's some ZD on the pile. Tree stand is over there. Nice shot over this area. Up in the nosebleed section. So hopefully these coyotes will be coming all down over here, coming down. Pile. Get a nice shot. And that's only the first ridge. There's another ridge up higher. So this is the, from up in the tree stand. See it, it's right over here, gut pile. All up here, these coyotes run this whole ridge up top here, and they come down right to the gut pile over here. It's a good spot. What do you think, Rob? We killed 5 or 6 up here?
Yeah.
5 a year, probably, morning and night. So it's a good stand, so you kind of see how we do it here in New York. Here's a couple of pictures of ones we got last year. You'll see a picture of the guy I was just talking to, Rob. He's a good friend of mine. He likes the daytime coyote hunting, and he's a heck of a darn good shot. He hunts with a 4K Pro at night. I hunt with a thermal. Together we can really find him and get him, and it's just a boatload of fun that we have. It'll keep you going all winter long. Check this one out with the 3 legs, and it was a huge dog. This is from this year already, before the snows came. Walking down a logging road. They're out there ever since the snow came. This is from this morning, after the snowstorm, or the 19th here. I think this is from last year. I'm not sure. This is from the 4K Pro.
God, I don't see it now.
I just wanted to show you. A lot different than a thermal. He looks back. Yeah, you missed me.
You see it? I see it. He didn't stop. Just went over here. Yeah. I didn't want to shoot 100 times at it.
So there we go. I'm hoping you enjoyed that. It's the first time I made a video out of it, but there was a lot of stuff that I wanted to put on there for guys that always wanted to take coyotes off of their property, and never had success out there. Call them in at nighttime with a red light, or even in the daytime had success with it. But you put them carcass piles out there, they're guaranteed to come. Throw a cheap camera on there if you don't have a cellular cam. You know, try to check it every 3 days or whatever, and by the time the mating season comes, which is middle of January into February, you're probably going to have 2 dogs on there pretty much at the same time almost every night. It just works. So give it a shot this year. Get out there, have some fun. Just to get outside and do it. Just give it a try. I'd love to hear what other people have to say, how they do it, but this is the way we've been doing it. And there is some videos coming up that I'll put out there for us running and gunning, I call it, calling them in on some state land and through the woods. A little bit tougher, but we make it happen there too. So I'm hoping this video helps anybody out who's having problems getting coyotes. And if it works for me, it's going to work for you. Trust me. I was on a dry spell for like 10 years. And I think this is going to work for you. So I hope it works, and God bless, and go get them.